Good morning. Thank you all for joining us for this celebration, and would like to really thank everyone for coming out and helping us recognize this next event. And it was 2 years ago yesterday that Mayor Jones opened the Center for Workforce Innovation, and he gave us the marching orders to figure out new and innovative ways to help overcome issues and problems and form the Office of Community Wealth Building. And so this is the next iteration of helping overcome some of the barriers and helping people that are really wanting to get to work. And so without further ado, I'd like to introduce Honorable Mayor Jones.
Thanks, Jameson, and thank everybody for being here today. I think that this is a wonderful opportunity for us to acknowledge some wonderful work that's being done in our community. You know, as mayor, I have the opportunity to cut ribbons and to go to some places where great things are happening, the exciting things that are going on in Richmond, the craft breweries that are opening, the new restaurants, all of the port improvements that are going to make Richmond part of the global economy. We are excited about our bus rapid transit project. Tourism is bursting at the seams. We have one of the most eclectic and vibrant dining scenes in America being written up in the Wall Street Journal and in the New York Times. But it's also important for us to recognize that everything we do is not all glitz and glamour, that there is a reality that we have to face, and that reality is that we have a very large poverty rate. 25%, 1 in 4 of our citizens live in poverty. And one of the things that we have to do and be serious about, intentional about, is making sure that we break down the impediments of individuals that are unable to operate fully in this wonderful resurgence that we have going on in the city of Richmond. And one of those issues is transportation. And that's why we're here today, because we recognize the importance of making sure that people have the opportunity to be a part of a multimodal community, to have the opportunity to get to point A from point B. And for that reason, we're here today, and we thank all of our partners, particularly Capital One, this morning for their working with us in this endeavor. We recognize as a city that this is something that kind of falls at our door, but we also recognize that we can't get it done by ourselves, that we have to have partners. We need the corporate community, the philanthropic community. We need people to come and stand with us to make sure that this is a community-wide event. Capital One has indicated through their participation in this process that they understand that some people don't have a license, that some people don't have a car, some people can't get to a bus, and so we've got to find ways to get people around the city to get where they need to go. And so this bike distribution program is a wonderful way to give back to the community, and we want to express our appreciation to our friends from Capital One. Let's give them a round of applause in helping to contribute to the mobility of our citizens here in the city of Richmond. I want to recognize Thad Williamson, who's the head of our Office on Community Wealth Building, a comprehensive strategy that's being developed to deal with the mitigation of poverty. Very excited about that, very excited about how that's working. And no piece of it is too small for us to acknowledge. And this may seem to be a small piece today, but these bicycles are a big piece to the people who will now have mobility. And I kind of wish I was in that crowd. I kind of want to bike myself, but I don't know if I qualify or not, so I guess I have to go buy my own. But thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor Jones. And this would not have been possible without Capital One asking how they could help in a very real way. And so by meeting with Capital One and having them saying, what can they do to help? And they use this as a way to help spread the word and create their corporate culture. So I'd really like to introduce Lane Hopkins from Capital One to talk about their piece and their commitment to the city and being a corporate sponsor and corporate citizen. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm really happy to be here today representing Capital One. I'm the Chief Diversity Officer and a Senior Vice President in Human Resources. First, I'd just like to share how proud we are to be here. This is a really great event, and like the mayor said, while it may seem not like a big thing, it's a big thing for the 20 people who are going to get these bikes and hopefully start a new career and start a new life for themselves and their families. We are grateful to be partners with the Center for Workforce Innovation and developing the workforce pipeline. I'm told this partnership started, I was not at the beginning of it, but I'm told it started with an intercity visit to Nashville. And one of our former executives, Catherine Busser, was on that visit. And Catherine knew that Jameson might be looking for some bikes as they looked at some of the models that happened in Nashville. And Jameson came to Amy Chapman, who's one of our community leader here in Richmond, and said, listen, hey, Jameson, Amy, I think you want some projects, and Jameson, I think you need some bikes. So that's how this great partnership came together, and our associates love doing this kind of work. This is really important to us at Capital One. Economic development is huge, and it's multifaceted. One of the things that we've committed to do over the next 5 years is invest $150 million in the communities in which we live and serve through a program called Future Edge. And through Future Edge, we're committed to economic development for our most at-risk citizens. We're committed to building financial literacy, and we're committed to helping small business entrepreneurs get up and running. Most economic growth comes from the small business community. So how we can help those companies that are 3, 5, 10, 15, 20 people grow and thrive their businesses is really important to us. And last but not least, we're incredibly focused on helping our citizens build skills for the 21st century and for today and beyond. So we're very focused on STEM education and how do we help people learn things like coding and developing, software engineering, cybersecurity, all the big jobs that are coming today. So through Future Edge, we do things like that. We also do things like build bikes. And it's all part of the system, and it's all part of what is very important to us. So with that, thank you all. Thank you for the partnership. We look forward to continuing to work with the Center for Workforce Innovation and Ride Richmond as we continue to help the citizens of Richmond get out there and build a new future. Thanks so much.
So it began with Mayor Jones having a vision, and then it had with Capital One and sponsorship. And then we had to have someone with the expertise to help select the bikes and assemble the bikes, and that's where Ride Richmond and Sportsbackers have stepped forward to help do this. And so I'll let Michael Gilbert from Ride Richmond come and talk about their piece in this long chain and puzzle.
All right, good morning. So a little bit about Ride Richmond. We were founded back in 2010, and we focus on charitable and nonprofit educational events here in the Richmond area and surrounding communities. That might be bike rides, that might be projects like this, but we really enjoy getting out and engaging with the community. And Jameson and I met about 4 years ago through outside of Ride Richmond, and it was really cool, very, very sharp. And as we continue to build our relationship and communicate with one another, he had mentioned he started this very cool Workforce Innovation Center. And Jameson, I'm told, was in the Navy for 20 years, 9 months, and 17 days. And I say that because he really developed, and not just him alone, but the community, an excellent focused program. And he's very disciplined. And the folks that are graduating and receiving these bikes today, they have earned it, they have worked hard for it, and they really deserve it. And something that I really value and Ride Richmond values, and Capital One as well as Jameson and CWI, is the focus on quality over quantity. And a lot of groups, they want to give high fives, let's give as many bikes out as possible and call it a day. And what I love about this program and this project is that it really is targeted, and we really are getting nice bikes, and we want to make sure that the people who get these bikes have really earned them and deserve them, and that is awesome. And it could not have happened without Jameson and Capital One, so I thank you all again for that. And I'll end with, I'm an economist by day, and you may have heard the saying that the world works on the margin, right? And the reason I bring that up is because I think in something even I didn't realize is you might be on a bus route and on your way to your place of employment, and that trip is 10 miles. And that bus line will get you 90% of the way there. So how do you get that last mile And having bikes like these to be able to put on the front of the bus and get you that last mile in an effective and efficient manner, or even if the bus route doesn't take you by your employer, being able to ride from point A to point B, as Mayor Jones said, is really important too. And I know I said that was the final note, but an actual final note is, so now what happens, right? So we give these bikes out, but that's not where it ends. And Ride Richmond is committed. Myself, over 50% of our board are league certified instructors, and we will work with the people who receive these bikes to teach them about the laws here in Richmond and the Commonwealth, how to ride safely, how to be predictable on the road, and also how to maintain and care for your bike as well. And not only are these individuals getting the bikes, but they're getting helmets, lights, and locks, and they're getting a total package. And we are just so excited for that, and even more excited that Capital One has agreed, and we found out this morning that we will be doing 2 more rounds of this next year. So a very, very big thank you to Capital One, and this could not have happened without them and the city of Richmond. So thank you all very much.
Okay, and so when stringing together a chain of logistics, we had the supply, we had the assembly, and then we had to have storage, okay? Because where do you keep the bikes until the person is ready to receive them? And to go along with, just the understanding of it, when we had the planning district, I asked them, if you put a bike on the front of a bus, how much would that get you? And that allows access to 1,000 more businesses within a safe, short reach, 18,000 more jobs. And so this really does help extend someone's reach and their access to be able to get where they need to go. And it wouldn't be possible if we didn't have some place to keep the bikes. And so again, I think it was in Denver we talked about finding a place to store the bikes. And so I'd like to introduce Brian White from Main Street Realty and talk about their piece in this long chain. Brian?
Thank you very much. I was intending to say something, and then Mayor Jones said it much more eloquently than I can, but I'm going to try. It's been an exciting time in Richmond the last 15 to 20 years. A lot has been changing, almost all of it for the good. There's a real energy and a real enthusiasm in our city that we haven't had in my lifetime that I can remember, and the civic pride has been great to experience and to see people want to be in the city and move back into the city. But the big problems are always the toughest ones. And our big problem, I think, the biggest problem we have as a city is that we've got pockets of real extreme poverty in our city, many of them here in the 7th District. And we have close to 2,000 apartment units in the city, and most of them are here in the 7th District. And we feel a responsibility to participate in dealing with some of the issues in the 7th District. We've worked with Councilwoman Newbill and some of those things. We feel very privileged to work on this initiative. I frankly don't feel like we've done very much, but whatever we can do, we're happy to play a role, giving pragmatic, real-world solutions to help people who haven't had a lot of opportunity have access to a job is a great thing, and it's something we're very proud to be a part of. Thank you.
So now, to complete the supply chain, we had the idea, we had the capital in the background, we had the building and success, we had the logistics and storage, and now we need the consumer. And the consumers of it, we have 4 of our great participants here today, and they have selected Mr. Isaiah Murphy, who's been with us for about 3 years, working and growing in his skills to be kind of a spokesman for the group. So, Isaiah?
Thank you very much for coming here today. My name is Isaiah Murphy. I've been with the Center for Workforce for approximately 2 to 3 years, and I say I feel privileged to be a part of something bigger, not just for myself, but for the city as well. Nothing really could put into words how really proud I am right now of just being a part of something people in years probably will never be a part of in a lifetime. So I have to say, just speaking on behalf of the group that's here, with me and everybody else, I say thank you much for the opportunity, and hopefully next at least 5 to 10 years, hopefully there'll be more job growth. And I want to also extend my thank you to Center for Workforce for working with me and all the people who just supported me up through this time. And I also like to thank Dwight, the mayor, for coming, and thank you for everybody else in the media just to boost the positivity that this is bringing to not just for people who just need to get to work, but also they also need employment, need to get to jobs, and also to help boost confidence that no matter what happens, it will always be greener on the other side. Thank you very much. Now back to Man of the Hour.
So this is kind of the conclusion of where we've been really trying to gather, and it shows what partners can do in a sustainable way, that everybody does a part and then they work together to bring it together, and that's what this is about, because we're not going to solve these problems in a giant one thing. It's each change is one life at a time. And so if we could invite the mayor to lead us, and we'll all come up, and everybody wants to be in the photo op, we're going to put a ribbon across, and we're going to then issue the bikes, and then Michael can talk about what to do with them. So the four who are going to get the bikes are Isaiah, Mike Mack, and Kevin Shelton, and Denise Smith.
Should we have them come stand with the bikes?
Yes.
And then give it a shot? Did you choose yours yet?
No.